So tell me about the new show. What kind of drew you into the new series?
I've been wanting to do a show like this for a very long time. I spend a lot of time in the mountains and the outdoors, so it's like home to me out there. I love being adventurous in nature, but I also wanted to be able to challenge people and to bring some level of survival to both the contestants and also the viewers.
Right.
So when I saw this show, I was like, that is my show. Let me be Game Master. Let me make life hard for these people, but also challenge them and have something entertaining as well.
And as the Game Master, are you kind of standing there? How much are you actually seeing of what they're going through when they are being hunted?
I actually see a lot. The contestants are confined to this wilderness compound. It's
right.
4,000 acres. It's basically an entire mountaintop
right.
that we've got sectioned off. And that sounds like a huge amount of area, but it's actually all digitally rigged. So I can see every little spot they're on. They're all wearing GPS receivers. They're all wearing communication devices.
Right.
So I can talk to them. I can manipulate gameplay. I know exactly what's going on. I know when a team's hunting each other. I know when a team's hiding. And I can also, mess with them and enforce rules. Like if they stay still for too long, if they stay still for 3 minutes, their alarms go off. That's something that we trigger. It's like, sorry.
Yeah.
You can't hide right now, and I don't care if there's a hunting.
Right.
You're going down, here's the alarm, and those are the rules. So I can see everything, I can manipulate everything, and it's a lot of fun.
Are you sitting there or standing there watching and thinking, man, I really wish I was down there playing with them? Or do you kind of just like getting to be a little bit separated and not risking?
I think being a contestant would be fun to some degree. I know that what they went through ultimately as an entire piece was not fun. It's very, very physically and mentally challenging. And I know that there were some second thoughts from the contestants as we went through. I think as Game Master, it's definitely a privilege to be able to do it. And I get to watch the entire board. From the office, I've got this basically great big digital dungeon where I can watch everything that's going on. I can see different camera angles of what's going on, and it's kind of like playing a great big computer game but with people out there.
Do we ever see you looking at the gameplay like that? Because I know in the pilot episode we don't really see what you're doing as they're doing what they're doing.
We don't have cameras backstage with me, but what you do see are the maps that I'm looking at, the action that's going on that I can see through digital GPS information.
Right.
We also see the messages that I'm able to send them. So on their communication devices, I can send them messages that are things like, hey, you're in the wrong area, you won the advantage, choose a team for sabotage. I've also got text messages as well. So I am sensitive to things like, they might be near another team. I can see that they're near another team, and I won't send them a message that has me talking because I don't want to give them away. Everyone gets a fair chance, so I'll send them a text message instead. Right.
I mean, this is kind of the summer of reality shows, and where a lot of them are kind of skewing more towards fiction, like we've seen with Siberia, with the NBC kind of hybrid and whodunit, where they're fake killing off people. Are you concerned that people might view something like this, since this has been billed as like a Hunger Games-esque series, and think automatically, oh, this isn't actually real, it's kind of the CW pulling their leg and making things a little bit more dramatic than they should be?
I think people will see fairly quickly that there's nothing fake about this game at all. It's a very strictly controlled competition. Standards and practices are all over. Everything you see is actually real. The marvel of this game is actually in how we're actually able to capture it, how the cameramen are able to get footage that is usable. I mean, the cameramen and the crew running around following the teams also just have to be as quiet and as skillful as the contestants.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because you would think that, camera crews, they normally have to just do their job and everyone else kind of has to work around them because that is their job. But in this case, if a camera person is, steps on a twig too loudly, et cetera, they could screw up a team's complete gameplay. Did that ever happen in the game where something happened like that?
I will say throughout the entire throughout all the episodes, I didn't hear one complaint I didn't hear one complaint from the contestants about their crew. The crew were chosen specifically for their outdoor skills and their ability to kind of blend in. So we saw them going out all fully camouflaged with ghillie suits on and twigs all up in their hats and stuff. And
oh my goodness.
It's pretty crazy the level that we go to. Plus we've got perimeter cameras, we've got the GPS coverage. So somebody watching it really gets a fully immersive experience of being out in the field as a contestant with real life coverage and real life captures.
Yeah.
They're seeing the action as it happens. There's nothing fake about this whatsoever.
I will say, it was, as I was watching it, it was very stressful in a way, because you're seeing these contestants running for their figurative lives, and there's always the risk of injury.
Yeah.
What kind of precautions did you guys take on set to make sure that it was as safe as possible for these contestants?
Well, the terrain has been reviewed and was chosen as a place that could be competed in. But other than that, it's wild terrain.
Yeah.
Contestants are warned about that. There are natural dangers. There's animals, there's insects, there's all those types of creepy crawly things that not a lot of people like, but more so the actual terrain itself. Even just running through the forest and brushing past a twig could take out an eye, or rolling your ankle on a log or something. That stuff can happen and does happen.
Right.
It's no joke. It's pretty harsh, and we really didn't dumb it down or childproof it for the contestants. They had to survive in the wild, and that's that.
Yeah.
It's a wilderness.
What really surprised you most about these contestants?
How quickly they absorbed the competition and really reverted to a primitive kind of hunter mentality. There was a couple of days there where you could see they were just reeling with shock. They were like, wow, we really have to do this. This is what we have to do to survive, is to hunt these other people. All the friendships they're making, they have to take them down. I mean, it's ruthless what we make them do. But they very quickly go through this progression of, oh no, this is what we have to do. This is too hard. I don't know if I want to be here. And then I have to, kick their butts a little bit and say, man up, woman up, pull your socks up and get out there.
Yeah.
And they do. And they really did respond to that. So we see them get harder and tougher and fitter and skinnier as they run around the mountains for days on end with no food. But ultimately we saw a really encouraging progression in the behavior of the contestants, and that is that they got stronger.
In almost every reality show, there is a contestant or a team that kind of stands out from the pack in terms of, chatter online and social media. And is there any kind of either person or group that you think, when you were watching them, you're like, okay, you guys are going to be the talk of the show?
There's a couple, actually. I think there's some very smart teams as far as how they position themselves publicly. We've got our villains, we've got the sweet ones, we've got the ones that you definitely want to hate, the ones you want to love. I think viewers will really identify with some of those, and some of the extremes that they go to. It's going to be fun.